Have you ever been trapped between a rock and a hard place? Have you ever had to carry a burden all on your own? When no one else knows what you are going through? When you pretend that you are okay in front of your family, at work, or at school? When everyone around you thinks your life is perfect, but secretly, you are being overwhelmed by the stress of your situation. You are being crushed by the pressure you feel. It's getting harder to breathe. It's slowly eating you away. Overwhelmed, exhausted, and depleted. What do you do when you are holding on by the skin of your teeth? There is a woman in the Bible who was in a situation like this. What this lady went through is jaw-dropping for 12 long years. The Bible does not mention her having relatives or friends. The story paints the picture as if she was alone, and I do believe that she was alone. But the truth is, you can have people all around you and still be alone in a situation. The people around you can mean well, but they aren't the ones terminally ill. They are not the ones with the broken heart. They aren't the ones who have been dealing with the same thing for years. They aren't the ones who have to wake up every morning and wipe their own tears. Mark chapter 5 introduces us to a woman who was stuck between a rock and a hard place. She had the issue of blood for 12 years. She had spent all of her money and went to every doctor. She had tried everything she could to get well, but nothing helped. Her situation got worse. She was desperate. I am sure she even asked, "God, where are you when I need you? Don't you see me crying? Don't you see me screaming? Where are you, God, when I need you?" 12 years. 12 years of suffering. She had depleted her resources. Then she heard Jesus was passing through her town. Like most people in her town, she had heard the stories of the great miracles Jesus had done, turning water into wine, healing the blind, raising the dead. Something moved inside her, and we see in Mark 5:28. She talked to herself, for she said, "If I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole." Look at what this woman did. This woman focused on Jesus. This woman did not focus on her pain. She focused on Jesus. This woman did not focus on her sickness. She focused on Jesus. This woman did not focus on her bleeding. She focused on Jesus. This woman did not focus on the shame of her condition. She focused on Jesus. And that's what I want you to take home with you. Stop focusing on other people, or even in your own ability. Turn your eyes and focus on Jesus. Now, the problem was, there was a great crowd around Jesus, and it was near enough impossible to get to Jesus. But this didn't discourage her. She started making her way through the great multitude of people. When she finally got to Jesus and she reached out and touched the edge of his robe, Jesus stopped suddenly and said, "Who touched me?" His disciples were confused and said, "Master, the people are crowding around. A lot of people have touched you." But Jesus declared, "Someone touched me, for I know that power has gone out of me." Now, what was the difference between the woman with the issue of blood and the other thousands of people that had touched Jesus? The difference was her faith. It says in Mark 5:34, "Daughter," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be free of your affliction." Faith is the answer. Your faith has made you whole, Jesus said. At one time or another in the life of every believer, your faith will have to stand on its own 2 feet. All you need is the faith of a mustard seed. Your faith doesn't have to be some giant mountain-moving faith. Your faith could be a flickering. Your faith could be small, but if it is true Bible faith, it can move mountains. It can open doors. It does not take great faith to believe in a God that never fails. I wish I could tell this to each of you individually, that God is faithful. He has never failed. Failure is not in His nature, and He will not fail you. The God of this Bible is still Jehovah Jireh. This book clearly states that He will never leave you, nor forsake you. He will make you above and not beneath. He will give you vineyards you didn't plant, and wells you did not dig. He plants you by streams of living waters, so that whatever you do shall prosper. Only believe in the God of this Bible. Yes, you have been praying, but do you have faith? Yes, you have been fasting, but do you believe? Real faith can grab God's attention in heaven and move Him into action in your situation. Mark 5:36. Do not be afraid, just believe. God has not left you. God is with you. You are going to make it. When you think you can't take another step, when you think you can't live another day, when you think you can't take another disappointment, reach out in faith to the God that winds and waves obey. He holds the 7 seas in the palm of His hand. He calls the stars by name. He measures the heavens with the span of His hand. He is the rock of your salvation. He is the cornerstone, precious and elect in Zion. He is my shelter in the storm. He is my high tower, my fortress, and my delivery in my time of battle. He is the light of the world. The lady with the issue of blood had to fight and push her way through the great crowd of people to get to Jesus. The crowd represents fear, doubt, and failures. Things that didn't work out. Thoughts that tell you you will always be in this situation. God would never help someone like you. The crowd can even represent past failures. For you to have faith in God, you will need to fight through some things. You will need to fight doubt. You will need to fight through any insecurities. Fight through all unbelief. Fight through past defeats. Nothing was going to stop the woman. She was focused with a clear goal in mind. No matter how big the crowd got or how loud it became, she was focused on Jesus. No matter how many times she got pushed and fell over, she was focused on Jesus. Even her own suffering was not going to stop her. She was focused on Jesus. The fact that she was unclean and touching someone was forbidden wasn't going to stop her because she was focused on Jesus. None of it even crossed her mind because she was focused on Jesus. You will need to have a bulldog tenacity, just like the woman, and say, "Nothing will stop me in believing in God. Let every man be a liar, but let God be true." Mistakes are not going to stop me. I am going to focus on Jesus. Unbelief is not going to stop me. I am going to focus on Jesus. The past is not going to stop me. I am going to focus on Jesus. Pain is not going to stop me. I am going to focus on Jesus. Failure is not going to stop me. I am going to focus on Jesus. Doubt is not going to stop me. I am going to focus on Jesus. Fear is not going to stop me. I am going to focus on Jesus. Uncertainty is not going to stop me. I am going to focus on Jesus. People are not going to stop me. I am going to focus on Jesus. I will have faith in God, for we live by faith and not by sight. I don't think we understand the importance of believing in God, or how highly God regards faith. It is impossible to please God without faith. God will never be happy with you unless you believe in Him. So have faith in God, and in the end you can say, 2 Timothy 4:7, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith.